Rated M because we motherfucking grown. It is your girls here, Lorraine. Grown folk. We made it to 40 episodes. And you know what? I ain't gonna sit up here and be a little Debbie Downer and talk about how we should be way past that. That's neither here nor there. The fact is, we made it, my nigga. We made it. Yes. And this is a solo episode because those of you who have been tuning in lately, you realize I've had guests back to back to back. And so now it's awesome to be able to come and talk my shit by myself for a moment. And I told y'all, those of you who follow the Rated M page on social media, I did say that there was going to be a major announcement. And here it is. I am overly excited to say that this will be my last solo episode because I have a co-host, bitch. Hey. Yo, if you've been listening to the last 3 or 4 episodes, you probably already guessed what the announcement was. And you probably already guessed who the co-host is. It's wild because y'all know I've been talking about one of co-hosts ever since I started this thing. And here we are, finally. 40 episodes later. 40 episodes later. So, another thing is by the time this episode comes out, it's going to be Christmas Eve. So, Merry Christmas to everybody. Merry Christmas to everybody. We all celebrating or not celebrating. This just doesn't seem like the year of celebrating. It just is so like the holiday spirit is just not there. And I'm not just saying for me, it just seems like everybody that I talk to, they're just not really in that holiday spirit for real. So anyways, I'm super excited because I am now going to be bringing on my co-host, who is AKA my college basketball teammate, AKA my college roommate, AKA my Kappa Diamond sister, AKA my good friend, Shakaya, will be joining the podcast permanently starting next episode. So next week, y'all will be hearing more from my girl. So I'm super excited about that. Super excited. So today's episode is going to be a little different. A little special, and honestly, it's right on time because it is the end of the year. Most podcasts are usually doing their recaps. So this is my last solo episode before stepping into the next era of this podcast. And before we bring in a new voices, because not just gonna be my co-host that you're gonna be hearing, you're gonna hear more guests coming in the year 2026 for sure. New energy, new conversations. Before we get into all of that, I wanted to take a moment to look back to see how I built this shit brick by brick for 40 episodes, baby. I'm recapping some of my favorite conversations from each episode. Well, I'm not each episode. A lot of episodes. Not everyone, but I'm recapping my favorite conversations from my favorite episodes is what I should say. The low vibrational shit that shook the table, the pussy power moments, the grown convo, dating horror stories, all of that. This isn't a goodbye. It's a recap before the upgrade. So this episode is going to be about reflecting, about growth, about recognizing how much can change when you actually do the work. And it's so much more work that needs to be done. We gonna get it. And don't get it twisted. Like I said, this isn't an ending. So if you've been rocking with me since episode 1, thank you. I appreciate you. I love you so much. If you're new here, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You actually picked the perfect time to type in. Episode 1, I called that episode Plugged In because it was the first official episode. And my favorite segment from that episode definitely has to be the low vibrational shit. I'm talking about friends in competition. And baby, that's a good one right there. You got friends that's in competition, you need to let them go. Because what we competing about? Anyways, check out the clip. In other news, some more low vibrational shit. JT of the City Girls had to clap back on someone who tweeted, JT letting Carisha pass her in likability and star quality is crazy. And her response was, every single time, y'all not tired? And it's always black girls doing this too. I would hate to be your friend thinking life a race. Sad. And that shit, like, is so relatable and, you know, like low vibrational. Like, I've come across girls who, they compete with their friends, and that shit is wild to me. That shit is wild to me. I don't understand why females are like that. Why are you competing with your friends? And, you know, I respect JT for, you know, just saying what she said. Like, I hate to be y'all friends. Like, I think life a race. Like, yeah, I need to be surrounded by like-minded people who are lifting me up, you know, and I'm lifting them up. We motivate each other. Competition with your friend is just wild. Whew. Now another segment from this episode that I loved was a dating horror story. I mean, it's only right that I give y'all one of my dating horror stories on the first episode of the podcast. And that shit was a dating horror story. Check it out. And this was a while ago. I remember this one particular guy. And when I used to work at this lounge, he invited me over to his house for he was like, yeah, I'm gonna cook you some food. I'm gonna cook you something to eat before you go to work, because I had to work at the lounge that night. And I was like, shit, bitch ain't turning down no meal. I ain't turning down no meal. I'm just playing. I will turn down the meal. Yeah, I will, but I wasn't turning down that one. I was like, shit, I'm about to eat before lunch. Hell yeah. So go over to the guy's house, and when I get there, you know, he has, you know, food and everything on the table already set and all that. And I'm like, okay, cool, I'm gonna go wash my hands. So I go into the bathroom, and when I go in the bathroom, when I go into the bathroom, he has like dried up, like it was like dried up washcloth on the where the towels are supposed to be. So no towels. On the little towel rack, it was a dried up washcloth, and it smelled very strongly of mildew. That's one smell I can't goddamn stand. It's a damn mildew smell. And the rag smelled like mildew. The bathroom smelled very strongly like mildew. And so I was turned off. And I didn't even
I didn't even really eat the food because I was like, well, I don't know, how do you wash your dishes? Like, I don't know if you use mildew rags to wash your like what that mildew shit. I don't. That shit is. I hate that smell. It's gross. So I just kind of moved my food around the plate a little bit, moved the food around the plate a little bit, and was like, yeah, I'm full, and I was ready to go. And so he's trying to like do what guys try to do. That's trying to fucking trying to fuck with a bitch. So he's like trying to like let me give me a hug, and trying to like kiss on my neck and shit. And he starts trying to like lick on my neck, and so when he does that, I could smell the spit, like his spit. It was really strong. It stunk. The shit was, oh my gosh. Ugh, I was so turned off. And I was like, oh, I gotta go. All right, and moving on to episode 2. Episode 2 was the episode where I had my first ever guest. Everybody loves him, Dom. He has been on a few of the episodes. Y'all have to go back and just listen to these episodes with Dom because they're always a good time. Always some tea, baby. And so this episode was called Catfished and Still Smashed. And so this episode was the Halloween episode. But my favorite segment comes from the Pussy Power segment, where we are talking all things period sex, the pros and the cons. Check it out. Okay, no,
that's like 5 or 6.
Period sex. Okay, so
I had to think about that. I was like, damn, how many sisters do I fuck?
So scientifically they say, it you have increased sexual arousal, which I agree with, because when a bitch is on her period, I'd be like, God damn, I'm horny as fuck. Like, yeah.
I thought it was the complete opposite.
No, I mean, I think it does depend, because some people they cramp a lot when they're on their period, so they probably like don't want to touching me, none of that shit.
Some people crazy.
But some people, yeah, like. For me, I feel like once I had my child, and I was like, oh, bitch, I done experienced contractions. This period cramps ain't shit. So now I don't be cramping. So I'd be like, damn, a bitch is a little horny. A bitch is a little horny. Might start talking a little nasty to some niggas on my period, but I've never had period sex. And this is why. I'm going to tell you why in a second, but increased sexual arousal. This is the scientific facts about it. They say, you get increased sexual arousal. The hormones released during sex can help reduce cramps, like you said.
Yeah.
And they said it can shorten your period. And I'm for that. For damn sure. So listen, I'm for that. But I've never had period sex. But I've had homegirls who've had period sex. And I've had homegirls that said, man, like, there's niggas that'd be like, I don't give a fuck.
And
I'm eating it on the period. I don't give a fuck. Virgos, a lot of Virgo men. I've heard you Virgo men are, I heard you Virgo men. I get down like that.
Okay, so would you ever have period sex?
I've never had period sex, but I would have period sex, with somebody that I'm really like, okay, I fuck with this person. But not just anybody, and this is why, because on the spiritual level, it's believed that having sex on your period is blood magic. And you're creating soul ties when you do it.
Oh, definitely.
So, there's a lot of different spells that people cast with menstrual blood. I don't know if you ever heard about, like, the one with the spaghetti. You put your period blood in some spaghetti. Bitch!
Red rice too.
Found out. Listen, listen. Let me tell you something.
You don't eat everybody red rice.
That's why niggas don't eat everybody's fucking cooking. Let me find out, bitch, put some period blood in my spaghetti. I'm gonna be mad as fuck.
Bitches are sick.
Yes, but those type of things those spells create soul ties. And so I've asked my friends, I'm like, okay. Woo, baby. Let me tell you something. Y'all be safe out here, because folks be out here casting them spells. I promise you. Let's move on to episode 3. Episode 3 was another episode with Dom. The episode is called "What's Your Parenting Style?" Douche, so you don't get dookie on it. First of all, just the fact that the name of these episodes will have you hollering. So if you don't listen to none of the episodes, just off the strength of the names, got to make you want to listen to the episode. Because what? Dude, show you don't get dookie on it. It's crazy work. But anyways, like I said, that was another episode with Dom. And the segment that I loved from this episode was the grown convo that we had on gentle parenting.
Love it. I'm excited.
We just did all that nasty talk about. We about to.
I'm excited.
So I just want to talk about, so how do you parent? That's the thing. I read an article written by Trina Green that talks about gentle parenting. It's the buzzword, nowadays, for parenting right now. So the article touches on influencer Lady Speech Sankofa. I'm hoping I'm saying her name right, but she was talking about the concept of gentle parenting coming from indigenous cultures. Environment-based parenting comes from religious-based colonialism shit. So the article talks about how behaviors such as tough love, whipping, violence in our parenting doesn't trace back to our roots in Africa. So why would enslaved Africans adopt such harsh and negative practices? And for me, what I think is because we have been conditioned, because that's what our parents did, that's what their parents did. So, and that's like, so my parenting style is, I do want to, do the gentle parenting. I want to, like, let's have a conversation. Let me talk to you. Let me try to, see what's your thought process behind the things that you're doing. So I try to do that. That gentle parenting shit is hard as fuck. Because these toddlers these days, I don't know, they built different. Like the other day, and this is the reason why I do the gentle parenting, because there's some things that I have to work on as a parent, just as an adult, as a human being within myself. So as a parent, I try not to put those things that I'm dealing with, but it's hard. It's hard to do.
That's frustration.
Yeah. So the other day, my son, he's running around and he's loud, and I'm like, Preston, shut up. And he turned around and he's like, you shut up. No. Traditionally, right? Traditionally, especially in our, in our culture as Black people, what does mom do next? A, B, C. Does she knock him upside his head? Does she spank him? Does she gentle parent, right? And so most people would say, oh, he would have got his ass whooped. He would got knocked upside his head.
Actually, wait.
Okay.
I actually say that it depends on the situation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like all about situation.
Mm-hmm.
Say, for instance, that was his first time. Like that was his first time. Him saying shut up, and then you told him. You said you don't talk to adults like that.
Mm-hmm.
You gave him that warning. Okay, the second time you said all right, I don't want it. This is my last time telling you. That time is when you would take action. I think that's that's the way I would approach something like that. I don't think going off the bat and spanking your child.
Yeah.
That's not teaching them anything.
And see, and that's what maybe not so much our parents, but their parents. That's what they kind of did to them a lot. You know what I'm saying? You really, look, you turn your face the wrong way. Like, what? Shut up. So my thought process with the whole Princeton telling me to shut up thing, like, no, you shut up, was Well, I mean, I said shut up first. Like I was like, hey, shut up, right? So I'm like, okay, I need to figure out my communication style with him so that his response is not because toddlers are sponges, right? So I mean, he just look. You said shut up. I said, shut up.
The way we would talk was, it's like, yeah, you don't say what I said. I'm gonna say it.
Right.
You're a child.
And I never got that as a kid myself.
Woo! Now, episode 4 was all about prank wars and squirrels in my pants. That was the first episode I've ever recorded with my son, Sir Princeton. That episode was a fun episode. And you just have to just go back and listen to the whole episode. I love that episode. I don't have any clips from it because I didn't want to add those clips in. But episode 4, Prank Wars and Squirrels in My Pants, it's actually a good listen. Y'all should go check it out. But moving on to episode 5. Episode 5, baby. Getting flued out with no money. Stop trying to make toxic interactions fetch. Now, this episode, I was talking about when getting flued out goes wrong. I was trying to tell everybody, stop being so shitty and show some grace sometimes. But my favorite segment from this episode had to be the low vibrational shit. Where we were talking about, or I'm saying where I was talking about I was talking some real shit on this clip. Let's just play it. Over your businesses right now, putting that out there through the airwaves, through the atmosphere. That's going to happen for all my business owners. Y'all keep grinding, because I know this entrepreneur life is tough. It is tough. As a new business owner, it can be tough, but you just got to keep, grinding, keep doing your thing. It's all going to work out for you. So don't quit, don't stop. You're going to run into your rough patches, but keep grinding, man. You got this. All right, now, moving on to the low vibrational shit.
Y'all deserve better than that. That's low vibrational.
First of all, it's so much shit going on, so much low vibrational shit going on, man. Y'all stay prayed up. Keep meditating. Keep on saging. Whatever you do, whatever it is that you do to keep that low vibrational shit from around you, keep doing what you're doing. Get your sage, your Palo Santo, whatever you got to do. Because there's a lot of low vibrational shit happening. It was so much that I was like, damn, what the fuck am I going to talk about? But one person that I've been talking about a lot on the past couple of episodes. Another clip I love from episode 5 was the grown convo, where I talked about therapy and relationships. Therapy and relationships, whether it is your friendships, your romantic relationships, your relationships with your family members, friends. I feel like therapy is always a great thing to do. But listen to the clip. My birthday, I actually went through my first big romantic heartbreak, and it took a minute to really come out of that, because when you're no longer dealing with someone in that capacity, that you spend a lot of time with, whether it's a lover or a friend, it's like you are in mourning. That shit, and that was my first time. I'm green to this love shit, because for real, I've only had
3 boyfriends my whole life. Like a high school sweetheart. I told him I loved him. I had 2 other boyfriends. Once I became an adult. Never told them niggas I loved them. They short-lived, like literally, like the longest relationship that I was in was a year and a half, and that was with my high school sweetheart. So that just lets y'all know that most of my adult life I've been single. Okay, like I don't really be jumping into relationships, falling all in love easy and shit. However, there's this Capricorn, and this person just met him my freshman year in college, and we never had a title, so I don't consider him in my my 3 boyfriend thing, but he is somebody who I really have like truly have like, oh, I'm like, I fell in love with this person. So anyway, fell in love with the person, and then going through the whole heartbreak phase and everything, like it really is like a mourning. Like I'm actually still putting in the work to get over that, but it did have me realize that once I'm ready to start dating seriously, I think therapy is something that the guy that I'm, wanting to pursue something serious with, he has to be willing to participate in some form of therapy. It doesn't necessarily mean we have to schedule, a session with a therapist, but we need to be actively doing some kind of work together, whether it's meditating together, couples yoga, journaling, couples retreats, that like couples retreats that, because it's one thing that like, oh, let's do a vacation, but a couples retreat that really focuses on activities that focus on relationship building, and healthy communication, things like that. So I would definitely love to talk to a therapist from time to time, but as long as we're doing those type of things, putting in the work, hey, let's do a daily check-in, let's spend like 10 minutes at least, just come together, let's check in on each other, like where are you, how are you mentally, what can, I'm saying, like, what can I do type of thing. Let's check in, let's communicate, let's, get the dialogue going so we can understand how to love each other better. Let's talk about those type of things. What is your love language? How do you, what thing do you need, to be love, for me to love on you? Like, what is your love language? How do you accept love, and how do you love others? Those are the type of conversations that you really have to be having with people, because relationships are hard and folks are working through traumas and shit. So I feel like therapy is something that you should definitely do, and not just in relationships, also with your close friends as well. Because cutting good friends off easily, because they did one thing or said one thing that rubs you wrong without addressing the issue properly, is a trauma response. I truly believe that. And that is something that I definitely am working on. It is a trauma response. Like, and I can, I'm gonna only speak for myself, but I be, quick to be like, shit, it is what it is, Oh, you. I swear, this is going to be the last time I talk about that damn Capricorn in detail. It ain't happening in 2026. Fuck them. I said that shit. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to bring him up. I got to get it together. But anyway, let's move on to episode 6. Episode 6. That was the Dating Horror Stories episode. I think that was the episode where I really got into my dating horror story bag. So it was called Dating App Horror Stories, Threesomes, Pussy Power. Oh my. And my favorite clip from this episode was the spiritual download, which actually brings me to say that we are also going to be switching up. Not only are we getting a new co-host, we are also going to be switching up the high thought. The spiritual download to a high thought. I've officially decided to change it because it has the same concept where we will be speaking life into each other, but I find it more fitting to call it a high thought because we start the topics off with low vibrational shit. So it's only right that we end on a high thought at the end of this episode. To play on words, because the grown folks be blowing it down, especially my co-host. She told me the other day that she be having some good shit to say when she high. So it's only fitting to switch the segment up, right? You know? High thought. So, my favorite segment from episode 6 is the high thought. Check it out.
Candy yams. It was my first time making that much greens. So it came out good. The food was busting. But that pie was trash. And so we were watching The Wiz that was the Thanksgiving movie because I wanted to watch Wednesday, but my brother ended up watching it before I could watch it. I was like, where's the loyalty at? Where is the loyalty? How you gonna watch this? And I told you that was gonna be our Thanksgiving. That was gonna be what we're gonna do for Thanksgiving. We're gonna watch Wednesday. So we end up watching The Wiz, and not me being high, watching The Wiz. And usually when I watch The Wiz, I'm singing all the songs. I know it verbatim, word for word. That's my shit. But this time I'm high and got the itis from, eating all that food. And I'm just kind of watching and I'm just breaking down the characters and stuff. And I'm just like, damn, this is kind of deep. Like the type of, especially the scarecrow. Cause I was like, look at him. He does a lot of negative self-talk. My highest. He does a lot of negative self-talk, and he got a lot of people around him, them crows that, act like they're his friend, but preying on his downfall type of shit. And, it's a lot of people who are experiencing that. And I'm like, he was the main one coming up with all the good ideas, figuring shit out, and was dropping knowledge the whole goddamn movie. Pulling them damn quotes out of his damn stuffing. I'm like, this man is smart. But because he let motherfuckers around him tell him that he's not, he think he need a brain from the Wiz. And it's like, bruh, So I said all that to say, and we ain't even on the spiritual download part of the episode yet, but I just say all that to say, you gotta stop the negative self-talk, keep the goddamn squares out your circle, saying, look out for those people who be in your face acting like they're your friends, but then just peep what they saying to you, when you're all trying to hype yourself up or somebody's hyping you up and then they come with the little slick little comments or remarks or whatever. Like, now why you trying to dim my light? So just kind of pay attention to those type of people and keep the squares out your circle, man. That's what I gathered from watching The Wiz this time around. I'm like,
all right, so moving on to episode 7, I loved the conversation surrounding parenting anxiety because it is definitely a thing when you are just having anxiety about little things, big things. It's just the anxiety that comes with raising children. So episode 7, dream it, work for it, go get it. Let's check out the grown convo on this episode.
Anxiety. Parenting anxiety is a real thing. It's essentially you worrying or having fear and stressing about having to be a caregiver. So I took that work from home job so I could be around my son. Now the boy is glued to my hip. I just went to the grocery store yesterday without him, and he called me on FaceTime and was having a fit. Like, you left me.
But that comes with that separation anxiety because both sides get it, the kid and the parent. I think more so sometimes me though, because I don't know, I just have a lot of anxiety. I remember after I gave birth to my son, I was on medication on top of medication, and his father has never been in the picture, so he wasn't there. And everyone who came and stayed at the hospital, my mom, my little brother, my good friend Jim, they stayed there. And I love them for this, but they stayed, especially my homegirl Jam. She came and she was there pretty much the whole damn time, if not the whole time. And I labored for like 28 hours before I just kind of was like, oh, I can't do it no more. Just cut him out of me. And that took like 15 minutes for them to do the C-section. I was like, damn it, I could have just did this damn C-section and been done. But anyways, they stayed pretty much the whole entire time I labored. But after I had him, they went home. They had to go home and rest. Like, all right, let me freshen up. Like, oh, rest. You did good, kid. But we got to go home. We'll come back and visit. So being that I had got induced, so I'm on Pitocin, I'm on drugs because my blood pressure is high. No, the baby's heart rate is high. Let me give you this drug so that the baby's heart rate can go down. But because you're on that drug, now your heart rate's going up and your blood pressure's high. And now I got to give you a drug for the blood. So I was on so much medication, and I promise y'all, if I ever have another child, I will not be in nobody's hospital. Nope. Doula, me, baby. I'm not doing it because that's wild. But anyway, and that's why it's very, very important that when you are in these hospitals, you have somebody that's with you all the time advocating for you, because I had a birthing plan, and that birthing plan, they did not follow the birthing plan. First of all, I gave the birthing plan to the first nurse, and of course, when her shift ended, I know damn well she didn't give my birthing plan to the next nurse or whatever. So you got to have somebody advocating. But anyways, because I was heavily medicated and I didn't have anybody that was staying in my room with me overnight, they were like, oh, okay, we're going to have to put your son into the nursery because we don't want to risk you being so deep sleep, your child wake up and be crying and you're just deeply asleep, which would, hell no, that wouldn't have happened. You don't give a damn how much medication I was on. That baby was going to be crying. I'm up, but I'm all medicated. I'm like, okay. But if I wasn't medicated, or if somebody was there to advocate for me, that would have been a no. No, my baby's staying in the room with me because my son's not vaccinated. I don't know. Nope, we don't do vaccinations over here. But that's a topic for another day. But because of that, they put him in the nursery, right? And then all I remember is a nurse comes into my room, waking me up. And the nurse tells me my son was no longer in the nursery, but now has been moved to the NICU, where he stayed for 7 days. So now the anxiety is just, what? What you mean? My child's not in the nursery anymore. Now he's in the NICU? What the fuck is going on? Because he ate his poop in the womb, which is common, and that can cause them to. It's a term for it. I can't really think of it right off the top of my head, but it's common. The babies can do that. They can eat the poop in the womb, and then it kind of can cause like breathing issues. But he was there for like 7 days, and in the midst of walking back and forth from my room to the NICU, I just remember one night after coming out of the bathroom, I sat on the bed and I just let out this dramatic ass cry. It was just anxiety just came over me, just rushing and over me. It was overwhelming. And I was just thinking, like, how the fuck am I going to be responsible for another being? Not only another being, but a black one. Not only a black one, but a black man, a black male, a black boy that's going to grow into a man. And just the anxiety of it all just had me fucked up. Like, I get anxiety about shit that hasn't even happened yet. Like, him being a teenager, my son's 4, and I'm over here thinking about, damn, he's going to be driving soon. He's going to have to drive soon. He's going to leave, he's going to have to leave the nest. Is he going to be well equipped? Is he going to, like, the way the world is, like, damn, I'm sending my baby out into this crazy ass world. Just that anxiety, I don't know. It just, it's heavy. And I didn't have anxiety like that until after I had my son. But I came. What I say, raising a black boy into a man, now that'll give you some anxiety for sure. Especially doing it by yourself. Oh, man. But let's move this thing right on along. This recap is, we on episode 8, y'all. Broke Pression. Are you depressed or are you just broke? This was a good episode. I'm just talking about recharging your social battery, checking on your strong friends, and the pros and cons of masturbating, which is one of my favorite topics in this episode, as well as the low vibrational shit, where I was talking about people's highlight reels. You know, people get on social media and they posting all of the great things that are going on in their lives, which is their highlight reel. So let's listen to that. When it comes to social media, everybody is posting their highlight reel. Nobody's posting the real reel. You only get the highlights. And I feel like we have to understand that as well. And that's the reason why you shouldn't compare your shit to nobody. Don't compare the shit you got going on to nobody on social media, because it's just their highlight reel. You over here like, oh man, her business is flourishing and she's doing this, she taking trips, she doing all this. Meanwhile, she's fucking battling. She is fighting. She out here fighting for her fucking life, and you don't even know. And you over here like, I wish I had her life, and her shit probably more fucked up than yours. So don't compare, and definitely understand that social media is the highlight reels. It's just the highlight reels. We're not getting the real reel. We're getting the highlight reels. Yeah. So those of you that are out there and you comparing yourself to people based off of what you see on social media, stop doing that shit. Like I said, it's people's highlight reels that you are seeing. You're not seeing the real reel. So stop comparing yourself, because comparison is the thief of joy. You gonna get your shit figured out in due time, because what's for you is for you, baby. But let's move on. Another segment in this episode that I love was the pussy power segment, when I'm talking about masturbation. Back to the low vibrational shit. Just because we talking about pussy power shit don't mean I want to give my pussy to all of y'all. Just because you hear me talking about this type of stuff on this podcast don't mean I want to give you no pussy. Okay? So just because you heard an episode and I said I like a certain thing, or I'd like to do certain things, don't mean I want to do it to you. Okay, boo? So stay out my DMs. Thank you. Anyway, let's talk about masturbation. Let's talk about healthy masturbation. How often do y'all masturbate? For me, I do it daily. Yeah, it's a daily thing for me, unless I'm on my period. And even when I'm on my period, sometimes I do it. But when I'm on my period, I might do it maybe like once or twice that whole week that I'm on my period. Whenever it's, of course, a lighter. Well, first of all, let me not say, of course, like, because I know motherfuckers is like, like your period, you be masturbating. Yeah, bitch. Yeah, I wear a cup, okay? And if you don't got a cup, I recommend you getting a cup, because the motherfucking cups are clutch. But yeah, I wear a cup so I can do those type of things. If I wanted to have a nigga, look, okay, I'm not going to get too wild. I'm going to say the wild shit for another episode. I ain't going to get too wild. But I'm just saying the cup is clutch. That's all I'm going to say. So yeah, maybe like twice on my period, when I'm towards the, when it's less of a mess, towards the end of it. Because bitches be horny as fuck when they period. I be horny as fuck on my period. So it gets done. And so some people may think, oh, okay, like daily is a lot. Daily is a lot. But I've had conversations with men, and I've asked them this question, and I've had men say they do it a few times a day. So let's talk about the pros and the cons of masturbating. I feel like there are a lot of pros to it. First of all, the shit just makes you feel good. It just feels great to have that release, to touch yourself, have that relief. It relieves stress, and it gives you an opportunity to learn your body and tap into yourself, figuring out what turns you on and what doesn't. So if you don't fucking do it, I highly recommend you do it. Especially in your big old age, if you in your 30s and you ain't never orgasmed, or you don't know how to, or what makes you tick and what don't, figure that shit out. Cause ain't nothing like we too grown to be fucking having horrible sex. So you need to know what you like and what you don't like. And masturbation will help you figure that out. I feel like the cons to masturbating is it can become addictive and distracting. This pussy powerful. Ooh, I had some good pussy power segments, y'all. Y'all got to check these episodes out because it gets real spicy on the rated M because we motherfucking grown show. Okay? Now, episode 9, that episode was all about just me kind of getting over a little bit of my parenting anxiety, being a helicopter mom. The episode's called Don't Follow Me. Helicopter Mom, you know you want all this. That's the name of the episode. And I definitely specifically talked about how my son was just, he's getting older. And at that time, he didn't want me to follow him outside to play. And so I had to figure something out. So I talked about getting that TikTok watch and just kind of getting over, being attached to the hip. I mean, we still attached to the hip, but the separation anxiety is not as bad as it used to be. My favorite segment from this episode was the low vibrational shit, where I'm pretty much just telling y'all the tongue is powerful, so watch what you say. Check it out. Post on Facebook, and the post said, I want to cry real tears over a man in 2023. And it made me think. I was like, it really just made me think about like what we be manifesting and how we really have to pay attention to our words and what we say. I know, like, for instance, earlier today, my son wanted to record on a mic and everything because he sees that I'm recording an episode, and he's like, I want to do one with you. And so he's recording, and he was so hyped that he couldn't even breathe. Like, he was so hyped that he was trying to get his words out. He had spit in his mouth trying to get his words out, and he was like, it was so funny. We was cracking up. But when I was playing it back, I was like, oh, MG, just laughing. I'm like, you're struggling, like laughing. And it'd be just like stuff like that. We got to kind of watch what we say. Another example, I have this thing, automation on my phone. So anytime my phone gets on 10%, it'll say, all right, now I'm about to die. You better get your lazy ass up and go find a charger. And it was funny at first, but now it's because it says it a lot. I do let my phone get down past 10% all the time. And so I hear it a lot, and it's like, okay, she keeps saying lazy ass. And it's like, oh, that's kind of getting conditioned to my brain because I'm always hearing that. Like, all right, I'm doing lazy shit. Like, let me stop slacking on things like my workouts and stuff. So the power is definitely in the tongue. And so with that post, I want to cry real tears over a man in 2023. I'm just like, it gotta be. Oh. So I get what she was trying to say, but I just feel like I want to cry real tears, like real tears of joy, like real happy tears over a man. Like, what are you? Got to be more specific because you're gonna be crying real tears. You're gonna be crying real tears. Fuck boys make you cry real tears too. You know, gentlemen make you cry real happy tears, or good men make you cry real joyful tears. So you just got to be real specific. It just made me think about that. Maybe I don't know, going too deep with it, but for me, I feel like I do have to, just kind of monitor the words that I say and be real intentional about the things that I'm saying, that I'm speaking, especially speaking into my child. So that's really all for the low vibrational shit. I just, I want to start the year on a high frequency, like a good.
Now, moving on to episode 10. Episode 10 has to be one of my favorite, and it was definitely one of y'all's favorite episodes, because this is the episode that was getting the most plays, y'all. Like, y'all listen to this episode a lot. This episode is called Send Me the Nudes When I'ma See You. And in this episode, I'm definitely talking about how to properly send nudes, because y'all niggas got to get it together. I gave a whole, tips and tricks on how to send those nudes properly, because y'all be out here sending y'all ashy dicks and y'all think it's okay, and it's not. So, fellas, make sure y'all listen to that episode so you can know what to do. I also talked about the when I'ma see you ass niggas. Can't stand those. But my favorite segment from this episode had to be the goddamn low vibrational ass dating horror story that I had. It wasn't even a date, but it was just, one of those dating gap horror stories, running across a goofy ass guy who gave me fake STD results. Just check it out. Check the clip out. Y'all not gonna believe this. Check it out.
So this week we're going to combine the two. I'm going to tell y'all one of my dating horror stories, and this shit is so fucking low vibrational that it just was only right to put this dating horror story as the low vibrational shit. So let me tell y'all, I just spoke earlier about being back in Atlanta and, trying to get back into the dating scene as well. I need, let me go out on some dates and shit. I got some time. My kids in school. I got some extra time to go out and do some things, especially during school hours. I can do some brunch, I can do a little meet and greet here and there, a little kick it or whatever. So y'all know that I am on dating apps. And, that's the new wave. That's how everybody's kind of meeting. They're on the dating apps or they're on social media, whatever. So I met this guy on a dating app. And after talking to him for a little minute, letting him know, that as far as sex goes, that's a no-go for me. This is a disclaimer for any man that's interested in me wanting to, get at me or whatever. The disclaimer is you're not touching this pussy until that dick is vetted and tested. And that's like my line that I use with all these niggas. Like, that dick got to be vetted, meaning we got to get to know each other first. I'm not just fucking you off of one message. That's just not going down, So we got to get to know each other, because first of all, do I even like you, nigga, before I even let you fuck me? You know what I'm saying? Like, so you got to be vetted. That's the first thing. The second thing is, and the most important thing is, you got to be tested. So I tell this guy that I'm like, you got to be tested. So he's like, oh, yeah, I get guys that be like, oh, yeah, I don't be fucking like that anyway. These niggas be out here lying. That's why you need to test these niggas, ladies. Y'all need to be getting tested, period. Just get tested. Like, I don't understand, like, why are people playing with their lives like this? Get fucking tested. and make sure you see the results, and make sure that you are really vetting the results as well. Because let me tell you, so I'm telling this guy, like, you got to get tested. I just recently got tested, so I'm more than happy to show my results. I just recently got tested, but you have to get tested if you kind of fuck with the kid, period. So he's like, yeah, I don't be fucking like that anyway. This is the line they always say, I don't be fucking like that anyway, But I just recently got tested maybe like a couple months ago, but and I can show you my results. I'm like, oh, no. You need to, it needs to happen again or whatever. No, actually, I take that back. He didn't say a couple months ago. He said he recently got tested maybe a month ago. And so he was like, yeah. So he was like, I can show you my results, but I'm going to show you the results, but you can't see all my personal information. So immediately, I already knew the scheme. Immediately, I was like, yeah, this nigga playing or whatever. I was like, okay, well, just send the shit. Let me see, send it over, whatever. This dumb ass nigga. Y'all probably already know what I'm about to say. This dumb ass nigga sent me a picture of a Google image. Like, you didn't put no effort into trying to finesse. You didn't put no thought into trying to finesse. You just straight Googled negative test results or negative STD results. And then the first fucking thing that popped up, you screenshot that shit and send it to me. I'm like, this nigga is stupid, and he playing in my face because he think I'm stupid. And so immediately I goes onto Google and I types in negative STD results. And immediately the exact same test, the exact same picture pops up that he sent me. I mean, I'm talking about to the T, everything, the patient number, all of that shit to the T exactly. So I texted him, I said, you literally just Googled that. And then this nigga text back and was like, yeah, but I got real results though. Nigga, that's it. You ain't gotta worry about me, bruh. You ain't gotta worry about me.
Baby, when I tell y'all, can't make this shit up. He really sent me some Google STD results and thought that he was gonna get over with that. It's crazy out here, folks. It is crazy. Y'all be safe out here in these dating streets. All right, let's move on to episode 11. Episode 11, I absolutely love this episode. I feel like all of the women need to listen to this episode. The men need to listen to it as well, but definitely the women. Keep your head on a swivel. Things that make my butthole itch. That's the name of this episode. And on this episode, I talked about I gave advice and tips on how to be aware and protect yourself when you're out here in the world, especially as a woman. Because these folks are crazy out here. And black women and children are the most targeted when it comes to sex trafficking. So you got to keep your head on the swivel. And that was my favorite segment from this episode, along with the low vibrational shit. So let me play that clip first. The low vibrational shit is just me talking about things that grind my gears. Check it out.
Send me a DM. Let me know, what are some things that you are starting to dislike as you get older? I got a list. Here it goes. So first on my list is adulting and bills. Adulting and bills. What the fuck? Who the fuck? And why the fuck? Who invented them? And why would you do that? I did not ask to be here. I did not ask to be here. So why am I being forced to pay to live? I gotta pay to live, gotta pay to eat, gotta pay for light, gotta pay for healthcare, gotta pay for education, I gotta pay for all this shit. All this shit that should be free. It's crazy. It's ghetto. And it's beyond me. And that shit makes my ass itch. And it grinds my gears. Adulting and bills. It's one thing as I get older, I just fucking dislike. And then I think about my younger self and I'm like, damn, should have shut your ass up talking all that shit. Talking about, I can't wait till I get older. I can't wait to move out. Golly. Sheesh. I wish. I'm over here like, man, these kids got it good. Like, I wish I was a kid again. Somebody waiting on me hand and foot, buying me whatever I want, making my food, waiting on me hand and foot. I ain't got a care in the world. All I gotta do is wake up, play, and do it all over again. Like, sheesh. Adulting and bills and bullshit. The next thing on my list, niggas. Okay? I hate niggas more and more as I get older. Hell, the more and more I get older, I can't stand humans. But them niggas, sheesh, I can't deal. Niggas, man, just niggas. And I'm not saying just men. I'm not just saying black men. I'm saying niggas. Like, you could be a female. You can be a male. You can be any color. You got nigga tendencies, you do nigga shit, I can't stand you. Ugh, niggas are ignorant. And ignorance is not bliss. Niggas are just stay away from me with the niggertree, okay? Because I can't stand you niggas. I can't stand you niggas. Goodness gracious. The next thing, and no, none of these, I don't have a think piece for every one of these things. It's just a list of shit that I just, as I get older, I can't fucking stand, okay? I'm just getting some shit off my chest. Is that alright with y'all? Shit. So the next thing is black men versus black women discussions. It's like, we're in this podcast era and this is all you hear up and down the timeline. This is all you see are just black men complaining about black women complaining about black men. This is what black women should be doing, said a black man. This is what black men should be doing, said a black woman. Like, black men ain't providers. Black men are sassy. Black women don't hold themselves accountable. Like, this is all you see all day, every day. Is so annoying. And it's like, goodness gracious. Can y'all talk about some other shit? And I run across a lot of guys who, when I tell them, you know, I have a podcast, they're like, oh, you should put me on. And I have so many guys say the same shit to me. Like, oh, yeah. You should put me on your podcast because I got a lot of shit to talk about what y'all women should be doing. Nigga, why would I put you on my podcast? I mean, I know I talk about, like, I have my, you know, my segments where I'm talking about some of these things, but it's just shit that I go through. I just deal with niggas. Like, I've been dealing with just nigga shit. You know, trying to date, and it's just, it is what it is. So I have to talk about it. It's my experiences, but I don't want this podcast to just be about that. I got some more shit that grinds my gears. I do. I got more shit that grinds my gears. You know what? I might need to do a follow-up, a part 2 to that, because I have way more stuff to add to that list of things that make my butthole itch. But like I said, the other clip, or the other segment, I should say, from this episode that I absolutely love was just me giving the advice on keeping your head on a swivel. Check it out. That's why it's so important for us as women, or just in general, just, I don't care if you're a man or a woman, keep your head on the swivel. So I always tell my son, you know, keep your head on the swivel. Don't be all in your phone. Don't be so, like, unaware. You need to know what's going on. I need you to be looking out that window in the car so you can know where you're going to, where you're coming from. You can identify some landmarks, something. So I just want to give some tips on just being aware, to keeping your head on swivel, and how to protect yourself while you're out here in this world, because this world is crazy. So first things first, keep your head on a motherfucking swivel. When you come out the grocery stores, don't be all in your phone. Don't be all occupied with your kids that you ain't paying attention, because, man, there's been plenty of times where I've been in the grocery store and I'm like, I'll see like a guy like kind of follow me in the aisle or something. Like, it'd be weird shit going on. Maybe I might be a little paranoid. I don't know, but I'll be paying attention. And I'm like, he seems like he been, why I keep seeing the same nigga in every aisle I go into? Like, weird. So keep your head on a swivel. Trust your instincts. So if something doesn't feel right, or if you feel uncomfortable in a situation, always trust your gut, because your intuition is a very powerful tool for your self-protection. Trust it. Go listen to your instincts, listen to your gut. If you got a feeling about something, go with that. Like, this don't seem right. Get the fuck on. Okay? Plan your route. And some of us, if you're like me and you just a late ass motherfucker, like I'll be late to every fucking thing. You might not be able to plan your route, but it's a good thing to try to do. Before you leave, plan your route. Definitely inform somebody that you trust of your whereabouts. Share your location, like with your friends or your family members. My location is always on for my brother, who's military trained. Okay. My brother has my location as we speak. He knows where my location is. Now, does he check it? I don't know. But that shit's on for him, so he'll know where I'm at. Also, when I, whenever I go somewhere that's foreign, I always let somebody know. I always try to let somebody know, hey, this is where I'm at. And I love that Uber or Lyft, I think both of them, they have the... Hopefully y'all go and listen to that episode. Y'all take my advice. Y'all get what you need to protect yourselves, whether it's a mace, whether it's a taser, whether it's a firearm, whatever you need to protect yourself out here, do it and be safe, please, and thank you. Now, let's move on. Another one of my favorite episodes was episode 14. And we definitely skipped episode 12 and 13. Episode 14 was one of my favorites because it was like really officially one of my first guests. Because Dom, he was on a couple of episodes before this, but he was more so of like just my support, just there just to chime in. But this was my first official guest. My girl Shanita came on. The episode's called Friends. How many of us have them? You will always be the villain in a habitual line stepper story. As you can see, a time was had, and a grown convo was definitely had on this episode. But my favorite segment comes from the grown convo, where we are talking about dating, and Shanita kind of tells us what dating looks like for her. Now, of course, it wouldn't be a friend episode without me talking about friendship dynamics. So that was another grown convo that we had that I absolutely loved. Shanita talked about compartmentalizing your friendships. We talked about just, as adults, how the friendship dynamics just change for us and what it looks like in your 30s to have those healthy friendships. Episode 21. Okay, so now we really getting into my favorite episodes where I had guests. My guests came through, and shout out to all of the guests that came onto the podcast. I absolutely love y'all for taking the time to sit down with me and talk some shit. So shout out to Clee, she came through. Like I said, Shanita came through. Dom, shout out to Dom. Shout out to Nadine Bo, the actress. Shout out to Jeanette C. Shout out to just everybody who came out and like I said, sat down and had a conversation with me as a guest. Who else do we got? We got on this episode one of my favorite guests that came through. This episode is called Bitch, I'm a Mother. And this is episode 21 with my girl Brittany Graham. So Brittany came through and she definitely dropped the married mama tea. She let us know, like, baby, yes, I may have all these kids and I may have been married all these years, but don't get it fucked up. Mama gets it in now, and I love it. So my favorite segment has to be when she was talking about how she had to teach her hubby how to love her through all of the stages, because they've been together for so many years. So they got together as pretty much as teens, not really teens, but like young adults, like in their early 20s, I want to say, and just have been together ever since. And so she talks about just like learning each other's love languages and like learning how to love me in every stage. Like, you can't love me like a little girl anymore. You got to love me like a grown woman now. Now you got to love me like a grown woman with children. It all just looks different. And you have to teach your partner these things as you go through life with them. I say this often, you know, whenever we talk about these type of things, you do have to teach people how to love you, just like you got to teach them how to fuck ya. But we'll save that for another time. Let's get into this segment.
It's those little small things that just go like.
Because he knows that's your love language. That her language is words of affirmation. Let me make sure.
And then used to always be like that. I felt like at one point, he was loving me the way that he felt I should be loved. And we used to bump heads all the time because of that. And I was guilty of it as well. Again, we've been together for so long. I felt like even when as an adult, he was still trying to love me like we were 16, 17. And I'm like, I'm a grown ass woman now. You cannot love me like I'm a teenager anymore. Like, and I think after we bumped heads about it and we had a conversation, it was like, okay, you know that I love flowers, you know that I love words of affirmation, and you know I know that you love physical touch. So it's like, how about we work more to just give each other those things? Because at the end of the day, if you're loving me the way that you think I should be loved, are you really loving me?
Right.
Because you're not paying attention. Everything is falling on deaf ears with you because you're not paying attention to the signs. You're not hearing me when I'm saying this is how I want to be loved. This is how I need to be loved. So I think once we establish that, I think that like really helps our relationship to the next level. Like, and then we had to become friends again too, because when you got kids and stuff, sometimes, you know, you just come in from work and you just, you know, you don't really give each other time because the kids, you're tired, this, that, and the third. Like, we had to get to a point, like last night, we was in our bathroom.
Because listen, I feel like you got to go right into my Pussy Power segment. You got to go right into that. So
hold it. You want me to hold the thought?
Because I know where you going with it. You gonna say? All right. So I'm feeling bad because I literally have only had a handful of guests. I said we had Dawn, we had Nadine Mo, the actress, we had Shanita come on, we had Jeanette C, we had Style Me Dash came through. Clee came through. We had, who else came through here? Well, we had a few fellas come in. We had my boy Pat came through. We had my boy Lau come through. We've had Savage, Shelly. Shakaya came through as a guest, and then she became a permanent guest, and now she is a co-host. So shout out to all of my guests who have come through on the podcast. And so the last couple of episodes that we are going to talk about, I think they all had guests. So episode 23 had my girl Jeanette C. That's my Pisces sis. Love her down. She came on and we got to talking about all things like zodiac and just being in your masculine and feminine energy. But my favorite segment comes from the Pussy Power segment. Check it out.
Just be honest. Then you will be so surprised at how many people are cool with that. Mm-hmm. Like how many people like, yeah, me too. Or yeah, I'm down, that's what's up.
Yeah. I think that's how it is. Like, it's the same way, like, if a guy's trying to just fuck you. Like, be honest from the jump. If you're, tell me your intention, because maybe I'm down with it too, and I want to do it too. You here trying to play with me and acting like you want a relationship with me. Like, be honest. Right. That's boring. I feel like that's one thing I notice with men. Men are not upfront about stuff. They like beat around the bush. They sugarcoat their intentions. It's like, be a fucking grown up.
And you know what I think it is? I think that they do it because they don't want to miss out on the great catch that they have. Like, damn, if I tell her that, you know, I want to fuck other people, I might miss out on her, you know. Mm-hmm. But you gotta give people the option. You gotta allow people to be able to make
exactly, because then you're choosing for me,
yeah, like,
and then you're gonna end up betraying me, and then you're gonna lose me regardless. So,
because we're gonna find out.
Exactly.
We're gonna find out.
Or a dream or intuition. Somebody gonna see something. You're gonna be caught slipping.
Y'all niggas
not good. Gonna be calling you.
He's like, yeah, because y'all niggas is not good at hiding the shenanigans.
One thing I will say, I feel like as women, like, I would know how to cheat. I would know how to, like, step out. I would be so good at it.
Hey, Jay, don't tell them the game now. Damn.
Right.
This shit. No, but we just, I mean, we could be good at it, but I mean, a lot of women ain't out here cheating. I mean, there's women that do this shit.
Yeah. I feel like for me, it's just too much to juggle. It would be nice. See, I think about this, like, one man, he's good. I don't know. He's good at dating. He's good at taking me out and courting me. And then the other one is good in bed. He's good to chill with. He's good, like, you know what I mean? So it's like, but I don't know. I feel like I have like that. I guess it's the delusion part, the fairy tale part of me. Is like, I know I have that man who's the full package, just as I am.
Yeah, girl.
You know what?
The delusion part. That's that dreamer in you. That's that Pisces. Like, you live in a fairy tale world, because I be feeling the same way. Like, I just want my man, but. But then I gotta be honest with myself, and I be like, man, I be playing around. I be out here playing. I be out here around. Niggas be like, you a player, and I'm like, nah, really, yes, I am.
Yeah.
Do better. I put on my vision board that I was gonna be real intentional about my dating life.
And again, like I said, that's my Pisces sis. She gets it. She knows, and that's why the name of this episode is called. This episode is called, Yes, I'm One of Those Zodiac Bitches. Give a fat nigga a try. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I forgot I talked about my experience with a fat guy. Sheesh. But that was not my favorite clip. That's not one of my favorite clips. My favorite clip had to be when Janessa was just kind of breaking down the duality of the energies, the feminine and masculine, and the balance that you need to have with that. Go ahead and listen.
Topic that you had brought up about, you know, women stepping into their feminine energy. And I know you had mentioned when you were giving your flowers, the influencers, you just kind of love that feminine energy. But let me tell you something, girl. Me, I've been in my masculine energy
for pretty much all of my adult life. Like, I'm so ready to step into like my soft girl era. Like, and I know these words are like, you know, these are the hot terminology words that we use, but shit. Seriously though, like I'm like, because I'm a single mom, I have to do everything, and that puts me in, you know, this masculine energy, and I'm always in it. Like, I'm always in it. It's like, and it kind of shows in whenever I date, like when I try to date and stuff, I feel like, oh, you, like, you little rough, ain't you?
Yeah.
Because it's like, first of all, I got to do every fucking thing. I have to do every fucking thing. So I'm gonna need you to be. You got to be him. Like,
exactly. You gotta top. You gotta top what I do for me.
Yeah, for me to be able to just be soft with you, like you don't have to. Or these walls are up. So let's talk about kind of like the duality of the feminine and the masculine energy, because I know people think that being in your masculine, that means like, you know, you're being strong, and then being in your feminine means that you're being weak. But I definitely think that if you're in your feminine, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're fragile or you're docile. I think that it actually is a powerful thing to be in your feminine, because it's so easy to be in that masculine energy. Like, to be in your feminine means that you're, you know, vulnerable. And that takes a lot to be vulnerable. So, and being masculine, I don't want to like put a negative thing on being in your masculine energy either, because it's a powerful thing too when you're doing the masculine, especially for a man, like in the correct way. Like, you're in your masculine, and you're a powerful, like, you know, man in your masculine. Not like, I don't mean like bodybuilder powerful. I mean like in your mind and your soul, your spirit. So like, what are your thoughts on it? Like, how, like, first of all, the vibe I get from you, I get that you are kind of more so in your feminine energy. I could just kind of exude that, and not like in those like girly way, but just like, you know, I be seeing you post and stuff, and I'm like, okay, she got that. It's in her. Now, episode 24 had my boy Pat come through, and Lord, a time was had. We talked about all types of things. We had some spicy topics. We talked about stealthing. We talked about keeping nudes, platonic intimacy, and my favorite clip had to definitely be when we were talking about stealthing, because a lot of people don't know what that is, and people are out here doing shit like that. So you have to be on your P's and Q's, grown folk, because people will stealth you. So that was one of my favorite topics. And then also just the topic on keeping nudes. So the pussy power segment had to be my favorite on this episode. Check them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so giving you your flowers. So shout out to Michaela, shout out to Pat. That's who we giving our fucking ground now. We're going to get into this pussy power segment. This pussy powerful. Yeah. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, so my first topic that I want to talk to you about, I'm super excited because I've been holding on to this topic. I'm like, I can't wait till I have a man come up on here, because I need to know what y'all got going on out in these streets. I need to know. So when I was in college, I used to hang around a lot of guys. I used to hang around a lot of, I ain't even going to say the fraternity, but I used to hang around a lot of guys, and people that know me know. And they used to put me on. They used to just tell me stuff, you know, like I like they looked at me like I was one of the bros or whatever. Yeah. And one thing that they told me that stuck with me was, I remember we were sitting around and they was like, yeah, man, these girls, they be telling me, put a condom on. So I put the condom on, but then when I'm flipping her ass and I'm switching the position, I got her in doggy style, I'm snatching that condom off and she don't even know. And I was like, oh. oh, y'all niggas is out here wilding. Okay, noted. So fast forward, I learned that that's called stealthing. They actually have a vocabulary word for it. It's called stealthing.
Mm.
And I learned it from, college guys. College folks, we could be some shitty human beings when we're in college.
Absolutely.
But they put me on. And so now, I'm always on top of it. Like, oh, you got it on? Like, oh, we switched. Let me make sure, like I'll be paying attention. So, have you ever stealth?
Yes. But I was different with it.
Okay.
And I do not do this shit no more. I'm putting it out there. This is like, I've been gave this shit up, but I was wild because this is how this is how my daughter got born. So, man, I used to put the condom on, right? Boy, this ain't me no more. I don't give, look, this is not me no more. So,
disclaimer, this is not Pat anymore. He does not do this anymore.
It's over with. Straight faithful man, holding it down. Shit, if you can't believe anything else about me, believe that I have my own. I'm not none of that, right? So, the little air bubble at the tip of the condom, right? And I used to take my little middle finger and my thumb, and I used to like, pinch it a little bit, right? To where it's like a breakage in the condom. And if the condom break while I'm in it,
you're not stopping.
I'm just gonna keep pounding that motherfucker. If it's not, bro, cool. Like, all right, you ain't make the cut.
Listen, because I was just about to say that. I was about to say that's like the equivalent of like a girl like poking like holes into like the condom or something. Like,
because I wanted to hit raw. That's the whole reason why, right? But I would still pull out. Like I thought I was pull out Poppy. I would still try to pull out, and
pull out Poppy.
That's me now, though. My daughter 9 years old. I have a pregnancy scare ever since. But
so I want to talk about, because you're my first straight male guest, and I want to talk about like platonic relationships between the opposite sex. So I like truly believe that you can have a platonic relationship with somebody of the opposite sex. Like I have plenty of guy friends that I look at them like my brothers. Ooh, gross. I would never touch them. Like, like those are like my brothers, right? But, and I'm pretty sure you probably do have, homegirls or whatever that you look at like that.
Yeah.
So, first thing I want to ask, now this just popped in my head because this is not even a topic, but I do want to know, since we're talking about platonic relationships, as a man, do you feel like you can have like girlfriends that are just like, that's like my sis, I don't have no thoughts of like wanting to fuck her or anything like that? You can?
I do.
Or do you?
Right.
If I got the chance, I would.
Yeah, I do. I have like friends that I look at and be like, nah, I wouldn't do that with them. But then, I remember seeing this video from Steve Harvey. Nigga said, there's no such thing as platonic friendship because the platonic friend they know everything. They study this girl. They know how to move.
Yes.
She vent to him about how she moved, what she into, how her dude did her, how she thinking about the next dude, and you just listening, you studying it in. So now, that platonic friend is the best chameleon nigga in the world. Like, he can just alter himself to be whatever the fuck he want to be for her, just so he can hit next. So, I started off with a lot of platonic friends, right? And I don't think I'll ever be the one initiating it. They initiated it, and I wound up fucking, man. Like, I wound up fucking, and then, but then I got like a couple platonic friends. We really never take it to that level because they always be in a relationship. But I feel like if they wasn't in a relationship,
it can go there.
And the opportunity presented itself. Yeah, man. I think I'm in there. Like,
so there's no there's no relationship where it's like, no, I don't look at her like that. Like, she's strictly just my friend.
Yeah, I feel
You
like not for me. Nah, I feel like I hit. I feel
But do
like
you
I
think
hit.
it's possible?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. I feel like it's possible. It's just for me and for the type of quote unquote friends that I have, we get wild. Like we wind up getting wild, and like you know,
Mm-hmm.
the main thing that make it happen is the liquor, baby. You know what I'm saying?
You lit up. Now listen, I guess I already know the answer because of what you just kind of said, but the topic that I wanted to talk about was, does platonic intimacy exist? Is that
Yeah.
even a thing? Like,
Yes.
can you can cuddle with your platonic friend and not take it to that
Yes.
not fuck or nothing?
Yes.
It does exist. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think for me.
You too emotional.
No, what are you cuddling me for, bro? Like, no, you now you a friend like you. I look at you like my brother. Don't touch me like that. Like I don't cuddle me. I got it. Like
But he can go to Pound Town with you, but not
no, he can't even go to Pound Town with me because that's my platonic friend. Like I look at you like my brother. Like, all right, y'all, and we are gonna wrap this thing on up with the final episode. One of my faves. With my boy Lau, he came through. This episode is called, First of All, I'm Not Your Man. She walked like she crazy. And in this episode, I sat down with Lyle, the clothier and style expert, and we had a very juicy and grown convo. We talked about age gaps in relationships. We talked about societal perceptions. We talked about red flags to watch for when you're dating and in the sexual arenas. And then in our grown segment, I became very transparent about whether work defines our worth. And Lau definitely shared some hilariously cringeworthy dating horror stories. So I want y'all to listen to some clips from this episode. Check it out.
People making new friends and helping them make friends. I'm just the way I move and people I connect with. That for me shows my worth because that's my skill set and that's what I value myself as.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, I have to always get brought back down to like, I don't know, reality, or I don't even know if that's what I'm trying to say, but I have friends like just yesterday. I'm talking to my friend and she told me, she was like, yeah, like that's why I love talking to you, because when I talk to you, you might have shit going on. She's like, well, because I'm pretty sure everybody has shit going on. She's like, but you don't never really like wear that. Like you don't show that. Like you're always like in a good, you know what I'm saying? Like you're in a good space. You have a good personality. Like, so when I hear shit like that, when people say stuff like that to me, or they say, oh yeah, you inspire me, things like that, that makes me feel like, okay, my worth is not really defined by my work, because it's defined by like my character and like the people that are around me that I affect, like whose lives I touch, and
Right.
to give me that feedback and let me know, like, yeah, girl, thanks to you, this. So when I do have my moments, like, yeah, what you doing? Like, damn, you ain't fucking, your podcast ain't doing these numbers, or you ain't doing these numbers. I have be having to check myself, and then I always get those reminders. I feel like the universe always comes back and like puts those reminders in my face, like, girl, relax, because that's not your worth. Your worth is so much more than that. And here's a reminder.
Right.
Somebody's telling you something that has nothing to do with your work, your business. None of that is your personality, or just your loving spirit or whatever. So Yeah, I be having my moments. I'm pretty sure most people do, where they be feeling like, damn, I'm not, I can't afford these things, so I'm not really worth much. We just kind of got to get out of that mentality. And I don't know, we gotta kind of get like Kanye.
Jesus.
We gotta get our God complex. Some people got a bad God complex, but some people need it. Like, some people are too fucking humble, in my opinion.
Well, I don't know.
Grown folk, that'll do it. That is going to wrap up this 40th episode. So I recapped all of my favorite episodes from the beginning, from the first episode, all the way till now, to the 40th episode. It is crazy work. I'm so thankful. I am so excited. I'm so blessed to be here. 40 episodes in, because they say that 95% of podcasters don't make it to episode 50. We on the way, baby. We are on the way. So, grown folk, if this episode caught your interest and you went back and you listened to some of these episodes, I fuck with y'all and I appreciate y'all. If y'all are as excited as I am about the new co-host and just what 2026 is going to bring, then you know that it's about to be litty like a motherfucking titty. But again, thank you guys so much for episode 40, just for tuning in with me every week while I talk my shit. I'm so thankful because y'all know, those of you who've been here since the beginning, y'all know it's been a ride. We've been stopping and going, but the main thing is we keep going, right? And that's just with anything in life. You got to keep it pushing. You might stop for a little bit, but get back to it and keep it pushing. And that's my spiritual download. That is the last spiritual download before we switch the segment into the high thought. So again, you don't stop. You don't quit. You keep it pushing. You keep it going. You might take a break, but you get back to it. And you rock that shit on out, grown folks. I love y'all so much. Again, thank y'all for rocking out with me as I talk my shit as a solo podcaster and moving into talking my shit with my co-host every week. And we switched the days that we will drop episodes. They've been coming out lately every Wednesday. So y'all stay tuned every Wednesday where I will be talking more of my shit with my co-host, my college roommate, my college teammate, my good friend, my business partner, Shakaya. We will be talking hella shit. So y'all stay tuned for that. Cause bitch, we motherfucking grown. Bye.